getting cold this week.
Yeah, dude. But dude. Oh yeah, so pretty much probably gonna date Paige, by the way.
Yeah, I honestly thought you were dating already,
Oh yeah.
which is fine, right? It's okay to take things slow.
Yeah, what do you think about it? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
I like it only if you like it, though.
I like most parts of it.
What
She says
don't
some
you like?
scary things sometimes, dude.
Yeah.
Like last night she was like she just signed a lease on her place in Newark for next year. She commutes this year. And she was like, I can't wait till I can tell you to come over. It's like, damn, that's a year away, bitch. Shit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think so. This is going to sound funny considering I have zero confidence always. But dude, I think I have a crazy ability to make women really like me. It takes a while. It takes a while. But
The long term run, you got it
yeah, I
down.
think I'm actually like a little too good at it.
At
I think I might need to be meaner.
girls like the nice guys. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Nick tells me it's like insane how nice I am to this girl.
I mean, you're banging her, so
Yeah, I know, but like what was you know what I mean? I don't know. I always like when people say nice things about me, so maybe I was just excited he said that. But um anyway, business.
business for this pod.
Yeah, for the pod.
So basically, I kind of want to go rogue this pod
Let's
and
do
go
it.
like. So we'll talk first part about a couple of the games this weekend. I'll pull up the fixture list if there's any good ones. But because we're coming out of like an international break, I kind of want to like because we haven't really done a pod where we're just like, yo, what's your favorite like formation? What's your favorite like classic team? What's your favorite kind of like soccer reference and like I don't know pop culture or some shit? What's your like just like favorites of different kind of? What's your favorite like commentary goal?
So can I build on this a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I really like this
I would
idea.
uh, I would love that.
So out of the ones that you said, I say formation. What formation? I think that's a cool talk. Um,
Yeah, me too.
but I think this is maybe something that I tried to do years ago. Um, like we could kind of maybe combine the two. Um, where like each of us has like two or three topics that the other doesn't know about slash I mean I don't care if you know them, it's not like that, but are just like they're just random, like they're soccer topics, but they're just like anything in the game. So I would like to talk about Harry Wilson. um that doesn't
Who's
really
Harry Wilson?
he's a 21-year-old Welsh player for Liverpool. He's loaned out to Derby County. Scored for Wales to beat the Republic of Ireland with a free kick and scored the 32-yard free kick against Manchester United to level the game.
That'd be good to open the show up too, to like tie in the international break.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like just a couple things from the world of soccer that you bring to the table and you say, I want to talk about this. I'm probably going to talk about Harry, FIFA 19, and maybe something else.
Cool.
Is that
Any
is
other?
this dumb? I feel like
No,
you
I
want
like it.
to. Okay.
Like this is a podcast for like saying like any kind of shit that you want to say that like makes up your soccer identity, so to speak.
Right.
And this is like a good just like a podcast of like what kind of shit has like inspired you to like soccer. Oh, like I think that'd be a good like starting point. Just be like, what really got you into soccer? What's your first memory watching soccer or something?
Okay. Yeah. Mine aren't good.
I've Pretty good memories. But do you think we should write it down, or are we good freestyle?
I'm good at
Like,
freestyle.
are you gonna remember what you said?
Huh?
Cool. All right, let's get started then.
Let's do it. No Tom Hindle.
Nah, he'll do his pod Friday
Dude, I want to get on the show with Tom sometime. Not now, but
on his show.
no, I want to be like first take. Like he could be Max, I could be Stephen A, you could be Molly.
I can be Molly.
I'm just
I want more involvement than that fucking.
obviously you'd have more involvement, but I'm just saying
Nah, I know
it's
what
me
you're saying.
against Tom.
Like the Liverpool showdown, kind of.
Dude, I love Stephen A. Smith so much.
Ew.
You don't like Stephen A?
I'm not a big first take guy. No.
What do you like then?
I like they have the new show High Noon, which is fun. Not a big like ESPN guy anymore. I just like watching. I will watch the stuff like Around the Horn, PTI, and that kind of stuff too. But like, as much as First Take is contentious, like, it doesn't have like as much substance as I think people think it does.
Yeah, no, I only put on like the little 7-minute clips
Mm-hmm.
just to
On
hear
YouTube?
like, huh?
On the tube.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm smoking or I'm doing whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna show you this, but
We're live
yeah, we're live, so I'll show you when we are done.
when we go off air. Oh yeah, by the way, like I'm not trying to be mean, but I do like I am getting dinner with my parents, and that's like
Yeah, what
semi
time?
important. They're gonna be here around 6. So it's kind
Yeah,
of
so what time do you want to be done this?
uh
Just so I can have like a reference point to make sure we're like
I don't know. Like it's up to you. Like I don't want to say something that offends you, you know?
No, it's up to you because I just want to know.
You just want to do like a 40, 50-minute show? Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Is that cool?
Like 5:30, 5:40.
Yeah, word. Let's do that.
All right, let's get started. All right, Dylan, we're back, and there's nothing worse than an international break, but we got through it. No podcast last week. We're back this week, and bit of a change up, and got a lot to talk about.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes.
Nobody likes international breaks. You just said it.
Yeah, they're the worst.
They're the worst. So why the fuck do we have them so often? It's like every time this time of year rolls around, it's like a whole month we miss. The hell, dude? The season just started. I'm just getting into this, and you guys just take it away 2 times.
Yeah, it seems like there's been at least like 6 international breaks.
Oh, UEFA Nations League.
Someone needs to explain that to
friendlies,
me too.
bro. We still don't care. Yeah. The marketing around has been awful. It's bad, dude. The international game is dead. Who cares? That World Cup was pretty awesome, though. I'll be real. That was the best World Cup.
International game is dead. World Cup, amazing. Let's go. So, Dylan, very important news, very important release in the past few weeks here.
Let's hear it.
FIFA 19. You got it.
Best FIFA I've played in years. I think the last time.
Oh my goodness. Let's hear all.
The last time I played FIFA, so I just got it. I didn't get it on release. I actually got it for 30% off too, because I was playing FIFA 18, and they were like, "You should get FIFA 19 for 30% off," and I was like, "Okay, yeah."
Hashtag deals.
So anyway, FIFA 15 was the last one that I got like this excited about. I bought the 360, PS3, and Xbox One versions of that game. But anyway, it's the best. Like I don't remember enjoying 17, 18, 16 as much as this. And I think I probably only enjoyed maybe FIFA 12 as much as FIFA 15.
That's high praise. FIFA 12 was banging.
Yeah, FIFA 12 is really good.
So what I've heard is FIFA 19 is more realistic, and basically what I take away from that is it's easier to defend and harder to score, which is never as fun as uh, it sounds for me. Is that what you have experienced?
Yes, but I think it's actually counter to your point because I think my favorite changes because I haven't explored as in depth as maybe my grand opinions seem to suggest, but the passing is insane. The passing is insane, dude. It's like imagine playing a through ball that actually went down the fucking pitch and went out in front of your guy who has 95 pace. Like imagine if the ball actually did that as opposed to just going a step or two in front of your dude. Like now dudes play through balls to beat defenders. I get the ball with Salah on the right wing. He's got a 3-star weak foot this year. I can now play a a through ball. Like literally I'll just hold Y and he'll play an amazing ball that hits between the 18 and the 6. So I guess around the 12, but up a little bit towards Mane, and Mane will pick that ball up, shoot, and score.
Wow,
You
get
feel what
my
I'm saying?
checkbook out now.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's great. And so the passing is really good. It feels like the bouncing of the ball has changed. So whereas in the past, it's like you shoot it into a crowd of dudes, you're getting a corner. It's like now you shoot it in a crowd of dudes, that ball is bouncing dangerously elsewhere. So
Yeah,
take your shots, fellas. Shoot the ball. But
shoot
anyway,
early and
it's
often, huh?
great. Goalies seem a little dumb. Ryan mentions that a lot, specifically on corners. I get scored on corners a lot, like almost once a game by the AI. Trying to think of like anything else exciting about it. Dribbling just feels different. Like everything's just better. I think it's a game
So,
I'm actually excited to like come and play and figure out and excited to dive into and figure out what works best. Whereas in the past, it was like, oh, it's FIFA. I guess I better figure out what is lame and OP so I can score a goal. You
oh
know,
my god, you're getting me too excited about this right now.
dude, it's incredible.
So
It's
you
like
haven't said anything about career mode. Have you
right.
started one?
I was gonna start going into other stuff. So I haven't done any ultimate team, pro clubs, anything else except career mode. But so career mode has obviously not changed much. It's design the exact same. Um, which I don't have too many problems with. I mean, design is kind of iterative anyway. We probably won't see a full scale reboot until next year, which is fine. And there's like some little changes, but overall it seems much like the same career mode, which I don't know how I feel about entirely, but the gameplay is so good that I don't know if I care because there have
Okay.
been little changes. Like the tables look better, the youth academy looks better, stuff like that. Um, I didn't buy like barely anybody in the first transfer window. So as far as negotiations and stuff go, I have to kind of play around with that to see what's different about that. But I picked up Renato Sanchez, who's a 75 overall, like however old he is, not more than 22. He was like 12 million. And he's got like 75 in every stat, like 70 to 75 in every stat, with like 85 potential for 12 million, with like 90 shot power and 80 long shots. So I was like, all right, you're sitting on the bench, dude.
So well, he's actually playing pretty well for Bayern recently too, which is funny when you say that. But
Right. He's a
um,
75 in FIFA.
before you get me too excited about FIFA, and because I don't have it yet, I'm still on FIFA 18. That was our FIFA 19 in review so far. I can't wait to give mine when I get it. But Dylan, let's move on. Not going to talk too much about international break because guess what?
No one
As we said in
cares.
the open, no one cares. I don't care.
But
UEFA Nations League can go die or whatever. But
let me
what?
ask you this before I don't know where you're going, so let me just ask you this. What did you think of the United States international break? Because I have two takeaways.
So they tied Peru, which is never good. They tied
Okay,
Peru.
fair enough. The positive,
It's a young pool though.
right?
It's a young, youthful pool. But my boy Weston McKinney pulled out. He has a little bit of a hamstring issue, and I don't know. I was because I've been seeing so many like great highlight videos of him at Schalke performing at the Champions League level and Bundesliga, and he just looks really good at two-way midfielder kind of role, kind of a box to box guy that can looks like a poor man's Paul Pogba kind of, and he excites me to be honest. But I don't know. What did you think about some of these young guys?
So I don't have huge takeaways from anybody in particular other than probably Josh Sargent, who we've been hearing about for years. So to finally see him score, not I think he's scored before, not like that, but just um, he scored. Like he so it seems like he's a goal scorer and he's there and he's doing his job. And I think for a young player, that's really important that they kind of come onto the stage and explode because I don't know. I just think it makes it easier for them. So happy for him. He's another Bundesliga German-based player with Bremen. So really, really cool to see that. So I think that's a cool takeaway. And then my second takeaway is hire a damn manager, please.
Yeah, we've been on this interim guy for a while, and he's pretty bland. But I am glad he's the kind of players he's picking, and even though Michael Bradley's still in there for some reason, which is kind of the only negative I have, but I'm excited to see Matt Miazga get all this time. He's awesome. He's a great center back, and I don't know. I'm excited to see EOS in the future. That's for sure. But international break segment close. I want to get because this is kind of an unorthodox podcast for our Soccer Scoop faithful, as we're gonna kind of dip into some of our favorites in a little bit, as for the second half of the podcast. But for right now, Dylan, let's kind of preview the Premier League weekend. I only want to look at a couple games here. Starting off
7:30 a.m. Saturday morning.
with the marquee fixture, 7:30 a.m. Indeed, it is Chelsea versus the Manchester United Red Devils of Jose Mourinho. It's kind of the Jose Mourinho Bowl, and
Yeah.
he'll control all the headlines like usual, which is annoying. But I don't know. What do you see for this game?
What do I see? I see a Chelsea that's raring to rip United to shreds. That's what I see. Ryan and I are going to try to get up. I don't know if I'll make the first half. Damn. I really wanted to sleep in on Saturday. I'll definitely make the second half, but I'm just not convinced. This United team might have like the raw talent on paper to get results like they did at Newcastle and such, but you got to look at it at the end of the day. Newcastle are one of the worst teams in the Premier League, easy candidate for relegation, and
One of
United
the worst
needed.
teams in the Premier League in quite a while. They do not have very many good playmakers at all. And yeah, you're spot on with because they have all this talent, namely Pogba, especially a guy like I think Alexis Sanchez really embodies the team with kind of like how good they can be, but like he's just not good this year.
I think
So
that's a really good point. I don't know if I would say embodies. I would say maybe emblematic. Um, you have a
yeah,
guy who's star name, super excited. Everyone wants him. They spend a decent amount of money on him when they didn't really have to. It was his contract was expiring, and he's come with all the fanfare and he's done nothing. And I think you're very right. This is very emblematic of Mourinho's time at United.
and it's really kind of these guys that have gone under the radar, like Under Herrera, Juan Mata, who's been kind of supplanted to the bench, and they should probably getting this play time along with a guy like Anthony Martial, who's awesome still and doesn't get playing time. Marcus Rashford gets all the playing time he gets. So I don't know. Jose has a lot to figure out, but I do want to talk a little bit about Chelsea here.
Let's hear it.
Like you said, they're set to rip United to shreds because they're on such good form, undefeated in the league so far. But
There just seems to be like a good spirit in that team right now.
and they're so well organized too.
Right.
Maybe apart from the Arsenal game where the Gunners tore them to shreds on the wings, they're so compact in the middle where like guys like Kovacic, and Golo can kind of just pick teams apart while also playing kind of defensive. Like they don't get forward too much and expose themselves because they can kind of just pass it to Eden, and he can just run through anyone. Like I don't know how. There's sometimes like Hazard had that Player of the Year season, then he didn't score at all the next season when they like were 10th after they won the league or whatever, and now he's just like a couple seasons later best in the Premier League again. Like he's such like an inconsistent fellow, just like kind of mind boggling to me.
That's why it always frustrates me when people talk about him as one of the best in the world. And I'm like, wait a second. He shows up 1 in 5 seasons and he's the best in the world.
Exaggeration, but yes,
No, come on. Be honest
I
with
would
me.
say like two,
Elite
every
seasons,
like
elite seasons. How many has he had?
at least three.
All right, I'll fine. All right.
He's been head and shoulders above the rest of the Chelsea team at least for 3 seasons, but I don't know. I mean, we're both on the same page here. Like, I agreed that like when people say he's one of the best in the world, I kind of like step back and like let's see him do it on more of a consistent basis, like the Messi Ronaldos of the world. But um, maybe this is his year where he's like, hey, I'm gonna do it every freaking game, and I think he'll show it against United because who they got at fullback, but freaking Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia these days. Because Luke Shaw isn't he injured again, or
I don't know. Probably gained more weight.
if he didn't, he's had a tremendous season. But um, I think Hazard versus whatever fullback is obviously the key to the game. But I'm interested to see if Fellaini plays. I never thought I'd be like saying that out loud, but Marwan's been one of their like better players this year, and it's kind of like crazy because he's kind of just clumping around, wins every single header, which is like while he's tall, which is still impressive that he like can win every single header.
Yeah. So I'll say this about this stupid player that everyone seems to misunderstand.
So before you say, I just want to say it's the matchup I'm looking for: Fellaini versus kind of like going to that attacking zone, whether he floats in or out. Him versus Jorginho, whether he picks him up, whether it's defender. But yeah, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, I think it's easy to hate Fellaini for so many reasons. He's obviously physical. He's probably too physical at times, especially with his elbows. His hair is atrocious. He plays for Belgium, a team that's a little divisive. And
Controversial.
yeah, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that team. But no, so anyway, yeah, I think he does one thing well, like really well, really, really well, and that's bring a physical presence that wins balls in the air.
For
That's
sure.
it. That's it. So there's nothing
I
else
think
to
he's
say. There's nothing else to say. That's all he is. So all this like everything around him who cares? This guy, I hate him. He does one thing well, and he somehow finds his way onto a pitch. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, got a
No,
point
seriously,
there.
like let's think about like NFL equivalents.
Be like a punter who does
No, I'm
that.
saying like somebody that like he only does one thing well, dude.
So I'm more equipped to answer for like NBA guys. So maybe like a
Let's
three
hear it.
point
Let's hear
shooter,
it.
3 point shooter, kind of like JJ or something like that. Can't defend, can't really dribble. You know, like that comparison.
No, I don't
Kind
like
of a
that.
one thing. Maybe a guy who's like more limited than JJ is. I don't know, but listeners, they get your point. Dylan, I want to get a score prediction out of you for this game.
I think it's going to be 3-0 Chelsea.
3-0 Chelsea. I'll just be the contrarian here and say a 1-1 draw, which will help Arsenal and Liverpool tremendously. And Dylan, speaking of North London, which I said Arsenal, Tottenham play West Ham, first 10 a.m. game. They're kind of on a slippery slope here with all these injuries, kind of a bad form. Spurs side against West Ham, who always never show up in key matches.
This West Ham team is hilarious. The fact they're still in the league is actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah. So 4-0, kind of something like that.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. I mean,
Right.
I think I don't know. I think this West team. I know what I just said, but I think this West Ham team is capable of scoring a goal.
Onatovic would be the one that would do it,
or
if there would be one.
Anderson.
He's good,
mayhaps.
But more of a Serie A player.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, it's possible for him to score goals.
So lastly, I want to go into our two teams for the weekend. Huddersfield versus Liverpool. Arsenal play Leicester, but we'll get to that next. Huddersfield, always a interesting test, but kind of look like they mailed it in this early in the season, as they're not really playing any teams too tough out there. But is this another trap game for Liverpool like years past, or?
100%. I think it is, because I think it's easy for anyone to say exactly what you just said. Liverpool are title contenders and Huddersfield are relegation contenders. They've only got 3 points on the season. They haven't won a game.
Yeah.
So I think that's all easy to see.
As you showed me that notification from the horror of the run of the injuries of all Liverpool players during the international break, how does that influence this game? Because you got Naby Keita out.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of injuries. There's stuff that's important. It's go time for Liverpool. However, I don't think at the end of the day it matters. I think it's important that they come ready to play, but I think at the end of the day, Liverpool will score at least one goal more than them.
Yeah, they definitely should. So I agree with you there. Should get the 3 points. What about Arsenal-Leicester, last game that we're going to preview?
Yeah, so that's actually an interesting game, because I think Leicester are one of those teams that on their day can really fight it out with the top six. So I'm excited, because I think Arsenal and Leicester have actually produced some good games in the past in recent seasons.
Yeah, especially because, and like you said, they can play teams really well, but as we've seen at times this year, they kind of shown their inferiority with some of their players on the pitch. And right. I think Arsenal, with all their attackers right now, they're on such good form. Aubameyang, Lacazette, give me that all day. Nice, easy 2-0 victory for the Gunners. But yeah, that wraps up our Premier League review of the week, or preview of the week. We'll see how we do predicting those games as the weekend comes. But Dylan, you know what we haven't done here on the podcast a lot?
What's that?
I feel like the listeners are kind of wondering, hey, what kind of soccer guys are these guys? What got them into the sport? What kind of styles do they like? What do they look for when they're kind of watching these games? So let's give the listeners what they want here. Let's give us a little background of how we got into it. And Dylan, we'll start with you. What's kind of the first memory you would say that of watching a good soccer game? It's oh wow, I want to get into this sport.
So that's a very romantic way, I think, of framing my interest in the game, because I think mine is less about watching a game and much more about just having a family that played. And so I was 3. I started playing when I was 3, and my earliest soccer memories are walking to the practice field behind Silver Lake and Middletown and everything like that. And my earliest game memory is a Mexican commentator. I don't know what we were watching. I think it was my earliest soccer game watching memories, because again, I didn't grow up with TV. It's probably the 2006 World Cup.
That's pretty far back.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that before, which I'm always surprised about that you have that good of a memory. But yeah, 2006 World Cup. So you don't remember what game was being played? You just remember the Mexico
I
national
just
team
remember
involved
it
in the
was like a
farm.
yellowish screen in my downstairs TV room
All
where
right, dirty TV there. Cool.
yeah. And then I
so
remember sorry, keep going.
so for me, I was just gonna say, my earliest soccer watching memory. I definitely like you. I think a lot of people our age played soccer, or of our generation played soccer at a young age. So my first soccer watching memory, though, I do remember seeing like the Red Bulls versus Barcelona in New York in 2008, and it was like my first glimpse of kind of Eto, Ronaldinho, Henry, Henry at that front three for Barca, and immediately I fell in love with Barca. Obviously, Messi was just coming onto the scene. It was fantastic. I got the yellow Messi jersey when he popped off for like 50 goals, his first time doing it. It's just amazing because Barcelona was my first love, and when La Liga didn't really get, they still don't get the coverage they deserve. I turned to
Oh,
Arsenal
is
because,
that how it works?
yeah, I mean, kind of with everyone, if you don't get to watch your favorite teams play, you're
No, I'm
obviously
not
going to
arguing
choose
that
the
point.
teams.
I'm arguing the point that La Liga
That I mean,
deserves
that's
more
how I.
coverage.
Oh, they definitely do. I don't care. I don't want to hear your La Liga anti bias right now. La Liga is awesome. All right, that's fine. So then I became enamored with Arsenal because I'm a big red guy. I like the color red, which would make sense if I was a Liverpool supporter for the Reds. But I also like their style. I liked some of their players, like Fabregas was a big guy. I loved Van Persie was fun to play
Nasri,
with. Nashby is freaking cool to watch because he always like
Rosicki,
Thomas Rosicki, man.
Andre
I
Arshavin.
love Thomas Rosicki a lot more than I love Rashavin.
Remember Shamak?
Shamak was so bad.
Who
He should
else?
not have been rated over like a 68.
Fr- F- Frimpong.
Emmanuel Frimpong with a laser right foot.
Uh,
Um, Abu Dhabi, the injury personified. But any of those kind of players, like,
Fabianski.
were you like a big Dirk Cout guy growing up?
Oh yeah. Dirk out. Yeah, 100%. Dirk, Steve, uh, Fernando. Those were the three.
Yeah, and
Jamie
not.
Carragher,
I'm surprised you're not putting Martin
Pepe
Skirtle in,
Reina.
bro.
No, I don't have fond memories of Martin.
You scared him. But we talked this about this off air. Just going through our styles, what goes through our head. What what do you look for teams? What's your favorite formation when watching soccer?
I feel lame saying this, but I think it has to be 4-3-3 for me
See, it's
because
not lame though. It's right. Like that's the bottom
no,
line.
I'm just saying I feel like a lot of people are going to say that and it's going to be like, "Oh, like if you know soccer
Four
enough."
three three is the formation to get, right?
I mean, yeah, it's just like it's just fun. And if I had to describe a style, and I know this is maybe a cop out as well, but just the way Liverpool play now is just so fun to watch. Like it's unreal. So I think
Yeah.
it boils down to just I really
It's
just
yeah, that's
good
it's not a
attack.
cop out because they are so exciting when they're going forward. They're always pushing the team with a high press, so they never have any time to dwell on it. It's like a fun hustle, frantic pace that only like a quality team like Liverpool can kind of pull off. Because Leicester did it, and in a different way because they didn't have really the quality to hold on to the ball, but they had the quality to like push it forward towards Mahrez and Vardy, but Liverpool can kind of like contain it for a little more, which I like.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably why I like watching them even more now is the fact that like Virgil back there, Andy, Trent, Joe, like all these guys have just made themselves favorites of mine because they actually defend with a cool head, which is not
Yeah.
something I'm accustomed to seeing in recent years with Liverpool. Had
Yeah.
Martin and who else to be Lucas Leiva back there at times.
Hey, he's a good locker room guy though.
Oh no, yeah, he's club servant, but I just
Yeah. He's slow and bad. So for me, going back to my Barcelona roots, 4-3-3 all day. Sergio Busquets in that holding role. You can't go much more than that. I mean, that's really the essence of soccer for me. Like if you're tiki taking it up, I think that's a far superior watching experience. Not against a team like Deportivo or like Leganes where you're gonna blow them out 8-0. While that is fun to watch at times, like I would like to watch like a Barcelona Liverpool game, obviously, because they're gonna press as hard as they can. But I still think Barcelona of like 2010 could pass their way around that press with Xavi and Iniesta and Busquets, and that'd be fun to watch because I don't know. I think that's the coolest style in world soccer. A lot of people are trying to emulate it. Pep keeps trying to bring it to other countries with his bald head, and I think it's fun. But if I had so obviously in FIFA you have that holding 4-3-3 and that defensive 4-3-3. This is a very important question, and I think you're gonna get it wrong. Which one do you like more?
I like the one with the holding.
All right, good. All right. I thought you liked the overly defensive one for some reason.
So I mean, it's cool because you basically get 6 defenders, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a soft little bitch.
I'm just saying it has its place in the game.
Moving on to other favorites of ours. What has been your favorite commentary kind of throwback of all time?
The City, what was that, 2011, 2012 with the City United drama on the last day of the Premier League to give City the title.
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go
I
wrong,
saw
but
so to go with that, I saw one of the dopest laptop stickers you'll ever see. It was Balotelli.
Balotelli, he says.
How would you pronounce it? Balotelli.
Balotelli.
Balotelli. It was like Balotelli on one line and then Aguero with so many O's. I was like, that's a great laptop sticker. So yeah, that's the obvious choice for me. But obviously, you got to put in the Watford Troy Deeney in there.
That's a good one. I want to shout out to NBC Sports coverage of the Premier League. It's just always phenomenal, except when they bring in John Champion. John Champion is the worst. John Champion is
only
bad.
comes in for like the CNBC games.
Dude,
like,
John
he
Champion is
does
bad.
Okay. He
John
does like
Champion is
relegation
bad.
teams. So it always seems like he's
No, he
commentating
does Liverpool a
Newcastle.
lot. Whenever Liverpool plays like an ass team, it's John Champion, and I hate it. I can't
Reminds
listen
me of like the international break for like FIFA 16.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I hate it even more. But so who's good at NBC? Rebecca Lowe, great. Kyle.
I mean, Arlo White is
Arlo, Graham Lasso, Robbie.
Graham is okay. He doesn't really. He always supports the referee's decision, especially like soft decisions when people flop. And he's like, "Oh no, I can see why he called that. It's obvious that it was a foul, maybe a yellow card." I'm like, dude.
No, fair. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm just saying
No,
overall.
I just wanted to bring that up. I had a grip.
Yeah. No. But seriously, I like complaints. Even that complaint feels minor. Like overall, I just want that to be the lasting message that it's perfect.
I would say it's too minor because part of the like point of view and landscape of soccer that we're trying to change is it being so soft.
I understand, right? But when Graham Lasso is on there, it's never just him. Isn't Lee Dixon always on with him and Arlo?
Yeah, and I might be mixing him up, and it's probably like Lee too making these stupid.
No, but I don't know.
Supporting softness.
I like hearing from these like Premier League old heads because the league is so different now. It's just insane to hear them offer their.
And Graham acknowledges that a lot. You can hear him saying like, "Yeah, back in my day when I'm going down the left wing, I'm not trying to score at all."
Yeah.
or some stupid shit like that. Yeah, other than that, I would say the Iniesta Spain World Cup goal was just kind of epic in the whole accumulation of that era. Even though the commentary of that goal wasn't great, it was just like, and Fabregas, Iniesta, oh, he scored. It's like, what? It was this not just like the second period of extra time in the World Cup final? Come on, bro. Whose name am I forgetting? Is that not Martin Tyler? Is it Martin Tyler?
Martin Tyler is also ass, just like John Champion.
Probably him, to be honest. But other calls, I would say, how did you like the commentary team for this past World Cup? Because the play-by-play guy I liked, Stu, is really good at analysis, but I haven't quite warmed up to his voice yet. But
I think Stu probably not quite as good analysis as Tony Romo, but similar in that I think Tony Romo offers good analysis, but they both have decent analysis with some awful voices. So kind of stinks for them. We'll see what happens in the coming years. Whoever, if I remember correctly, whoever the main dude was for the World Cup was awful. He was awful, and I don't know his name.
He's the American guy. He sounds good, in my opinion.
I don't care. I don't like it. Dude, he clearly just like doesn't know the game. His terminology is too dumb for me. He also just like doesn't seem to know the game. And
I mean, he's no Phil Shane and Ray Hudson, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's funny when those two like argue with each other.
Yeah, because Ray's not gonna let Phil get a word out.
Right.
But yeah, I should put some funny Ray comment in here. That'd be great, because he has some freaking one-liners that'll make me laugh like crazy. Yeah, for sure. So, Dylan, you had a player from international break you wanted to bring up that we forgot to earlier. Certain Liverpool lad, Welsh.
A young Welsh lad, not by the name of Ben Woodburn, but of Harry Wilson, the 21-year-old who Ryan Giggs says has a David Beckham-esque free kick technique that only
we saw that on display.
Hours on the training ground. And he did it against Derby County, 32 yards, tie the game against Manchester United. Big play. Dude, that was a sick free kick. I don't know if you've seen it. It's sick, dude.
I can't remember it, so I probably haven't seen it.
Honestly, all the highlights of that game and just like watching him as a player, there's a spot where they're getting the to take the lead and the ball bounces to him and he's offside. And he knows it, and he just puts his hands up and like backs away. And it was just like, dude, that was so smart. Like, I'm just so happy that you're such a young player and you made that smart decision. And the dude who actually touched the ball scored. And yeah, and I mean, if you watch those highlights and you see the pass, where the dude like just hits it near post into Sergio Romero like an idiot. That's the type of pass that I'm saying you can do with FIFA 19.
Wow.
Just so
I'll have to look that up then, because honestly, I'm all for precise passing, and FIFA 19 has me sold, because your awesome reviews are hard to come by, and you're a pretty harsh critic, I would say. So props to FIFA 19 for winning your approval. What was I going to say? Something about fucking do you have any other categories for us? I had one, but I just forgot it.
I do not.
So if you are good, because we can probably just end it now. It's
already
5:30. All right, well, listeners, thank you for listening to this Soccer Scoop podcast. It means a lot to us, and we're gonna be back next Wednesday, so make sure to tune in then. We'll have some recaps of the Premier League weekend and much more, as we'll see you then. So peace.